Hey, this is Happy Portia here. I thought I would talk about something that I know that is really kind of hard. So, what I'm trying to say here is that, when people are going through something tough, like, I don't know, depression or panic attacks or dealing with one of their loved ones' death, all of those things can be really hard. But I also find it quite hard being the person trying to support them, because it's always hard to help people when you don't understand it yourself. So I thought I would give you some tips and some ways that I try and help my friends when they're going through something tough. When I've just been bullied or something and I've told my close friends. What I find really frustrating with when people kind of give me that sympathy eye, like that look, like they are treating you like you're unequal to them, and I find that really horrible. And I think that when people are dealing with something tough, they want sympathy, but they don't want to be treated like they're 5. They don't want to be treated like they're not human too, because sometimes giving them too much sympathy and treating them like a little dog doesn't help. It makes them feel really little and inferior to you. And I find that really wrong. So them talk to you when they're ready to. Don't bring up the topic unless you think it's absolutely necessary. But when people are going through something tough, like when their parents died or something like that, they don't want you talking about it straight to their face. They want to be able to learn to accept it. They want to go through all the stages of grieving, which, if you don't know what that is, it first starts off with denial, and then it goes to anger and fear and depression. Not generally depression, but it can be. You get kind of depressed, and then you start to accept it. So there's stages of grieving. Not everyone goes through every single stage of this of grieving, but it is a quite good list to go by to understand where people are kind of at when they're going through something tough. So when they're in the stages that aren't with acceptance, you be there for them, but you don't have to always say, oh, well, look on the bright side, at least this happened and blah, 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 because that's not going to be good for them. They don't want that was negative in their past. They want to be able to wait and talk about it when they're ready to. When people are going through something tough, I think that people need to support them. But not just support them, but don't judge them. And if you do judge them, don't let them know it. Because I think that when people go through something tough and they're letting out their anger, or they're doing something that they normally don't do and it's not part of their normal behavior, they're doing it because they don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to control themselves. They don't know how to live without this person or think this sort of way. So the best approach to helping them is by letting them just let it all out. Let them go out on their garden and scream as loud as they can. They can do whatever they want. Obviously not kill someone or something like that, but do something that just lets them be free and let them know that they're human too, and they're allowed to think and do things that aren't always perceived as a great thing. Like, sometimes I find that when I know someone that has dealt with something hard and they get a bit moody, and it is a bit hard, but you need to understand that they're dealing with something and you can't get really angry at them back. Like, you can treat them like a normal person, like, I don't know, when they say something to do with an argument, you can say your opinion back, but don't make them feel like that you're not listening to them at all. Actually, to everybody, even if they're not dealing with something, don't ever treat someone like you're not listening to them. Listen to them always, even if you don't agree with their opinion, because sometimes listening to someone else's opinion can kind of transform your opinion into something better and something that you actually agree with more than what you did before. So, yeah. So these are my 3 pieces of advice. They're not big pieces of advice, and they might be, you might already know them, but this is just how I try and help my friends or people that I know that are dealing with something tough. And I thought that it would be good to help you guys out. So if you want to email me or just email me or inbox me. Just do anything you want to talk to me about something that you've dealt with, something tough that you don't know how to deal with, or you know someone that's dealing with something tough and you don't know how to act around them. Just give me anything. Just ask me any questions you want, and I can try and help you as best as I can. Yeah, so